Okay. So, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
All right, slide.
Yeah, thank you.
The title slide. Okay, I will have to start by kind of acknowledging your presence. Good morning, distinguished esteemed scholars, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to present a study that explores how emerging agentic artificial intelligence can reshape one of the most sensitive domains of governance, which is criminal justice, specifically focusing on recidivism, risk assessment, and rehabilitation in Nigeria. My field is criminology. I'm a lecturer at Peter University, Achina, Nigeria. So globally, you can find out that artificial intelligence is transforming governance system, including healthcare, financing like those people that presented beforehand, and increasing criminal justice. However, Nigerians' correctional systems still faces a lot of challenges, ranging from overcrowded prisons, high recidivism rates, weak rehabilitation system, subjective offender assessment method, and these challenges limit effective reintegration and perpetuate cycles of reoffending. Okay, so now one we ask, what is agentic AI? Agentic AI represents the next evolution of artificial intelligence, unlike traditional AI systems that only respond to prompts. Like agentic AI, and their job, I think from my best of knowledge, is to set a sub goals, make a automatic decision, learn from feedback groups, and adopt rehabilitation strategies. In criminal justice, I think this AI is no longer just predictive; it becomes decision supportive and action oriented. Then you find out that in my appropriate statement, Nigerian criminal justice system still relies heavily on manual risk classification, subjective professional judgments, and non-standard rehabilitation planning. And this has led to inconsistent offender classification, weak rehabilitation targeting, and high rate of recidivism. Okay, more critically, there is currently no dedicated governance framework for AI in criminal justice in Nigeria, as I'm speaking to you. So now, the aim of this study is to develop a theoretical framework for ethical agentic AI deploying in recidivist assessment and rehabilitation. And what are the objectives? The objectives, we are aiming to exploit AI application in correctional systems to identify ethical risk and examine societal readiness for it. Then, internationally, like countries like US, UK, Canada, and China, they are using AI for predictive policing because they are more advanced than Nigeria. Like they are using it also in sentencing support, parole decision. But however, this system has faced criticism due to racial discrimination and lack of transparencies. And this shows that AI injustice is powerful, but risky in poor government like in Nigeria. Okay, then looking at the theoretical foundation, this study integrated three key frameworks: routine activist theory, which explain crime through opportunity structure; then social learning theory, which explain behavior through learning and reinforcement; and responsive AI principle, which emphasizes on fairness, transparency, accountability, and human oversight. Together, they create a social technical bridge between criminology and AI governance. Okay, then how can this agentic AI work in rehabilitation, which is the main focus? Agentic AI support rehabilitation through predictive recidivism risk level, designing personified intervention pathway, monitoring behavioral progress, adjusting rehabilitation plans dynamically. This transforms rehabilitation from static model to real-time adaptive model. Then we have some kinds of ethical challenges, like that despite its promise, the kind of promise that is given, agentic AI raises serious ethical concern as far as Nigeria is concerned, which goes in line with algorithmic bias, lack of transparency, then privacy violation, accountability, ambiguity, reduced human description. Then in criminal justice, these issues are kind of especially sensitive because they affect liberty and rights of the people. Then in the proposed governance framework, the proposed framework is a hybrid ethical governance model that is human in group decision, Then data protection compliance, ethical AI oversight units. This ensures that AI remains a decision support tool, not a decision replacement, just for it to support in the decision-making process. Then societal adaptation. How can Nigeria adapt to this particular system of agentic AI? Society's readiness is a major determinant of success, because when the society are not ready for this, there's no way we kind of achieve our aim. So the key challenges, from my best of knowledge, are what? Weak digital infrastructure, low high AI literacy, institutional resistance, and public distrust. So how this opportunity will exist, there is need for us to improve efficiency in judicial administration, evidence-based policy making, digital transformation and correctional system. Then the policy implication. For successful implementation of this in Nigeria, Nigeria must are you still hearing me?
Yes,
Yeah,
we can still hear you.
Okay. For successful implementation, Nigeria must develop national AI governance for framework, strengthen data protection law, establish AI oversight unit, train judicial personnel, and conduct ethical audits. Then in conclusion, I think that agentic AI offers a powerful opportunity to transform Nigeria criminal system. However, its success will depend not on technology alone, but on ethical governance, institutional readiness, legal framework, and societal trust. Therefore, AI should complement, not replace, human judgment in judicial administration. Thank you for your attention. I welcome questions and criticism and contribution.
Yeah, thank you so much, Uchenna, for this wonderful presentation. In the comment section, I dropped a survey link for the members in this section to kind of evaluate and also share their contributions to our wonderful presenter. So if you have any question, you can ask. We will only attend to just one question because of our time. So once again, thank you so much, Uchenna, for your wonderful presentation. May we invite just one question, if any? After that, we can go to the second presenter, Ismail. Sorry if I did not pronounce your name correctly. Ismail, that is I do. So do we have any question for our wonderful presenter, Uchenna Evelyn Abunike? Okay, Abunike.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, let's make it fun and see. Okay. Does anyone have anything to say? Okay. Okay. So at this moment, we want to once again appreciate you, Uchenna, for doing a very good job in your presentation. We will, if there are contributions and other feedbacks at the end of this program. So, and we also want to encourage you to sit tight and take a listen to other presenters. So we move to Ishmael Datisai, who will be presenting, whose presentation is on chatbots to coach. Ishmael, are you here? Please, let's hear from you. Ishmael Datisaidu. Okay, I want to believe. Okay, so we can move to Linus Oluchukwu Akudolu. Please, are you here? Linus Oluchukwu, please, are you here? Oh.
Okay. I think he's here. Hi, Linus.
Oh,
Can you hear
Linus.
us? Hello? Okay. It seems Linus is also not ready. I think we can move on to the next presenter. So is Oluwajuwonlo Afolabi here? Oh, Linus is here. Hello, Linus.
Yeah, great.
Okay. So would you like to share your screen?
Yeah, we can see you. We can see you. Can you speak to us? Oluchukwu, can you hear us? Oh,
Maybe you can direct him to click.
on the microphone.
Yeah, I guess the icon is not even appearing.
Yeah.
I think he's unmuted. Hello, can you speak into the mic? Can you hear us?
Tell him to raise his hand if he can hear. I mean,
Hello, can you raise your hand if you can hear us? We cannot hear you. Can you speak into the microphone?
it's not.
Hello? Oh, I think I think we'll move on to
Yeah.
onto the next speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that case, we would like to invite Oluwajuwonlo Afolabi.
I'm here.
Sorry? Who just spoke?
Abunike Chibike just spoke.
Hi, Abunike Chibuike. I think you're supposed to be in the other room, in room 3.
Yes, I was there. I was there. So they told me that that room was for mathematics. I'm not supposed to be there.
So there are 4 rooms. I think let me try to move you to your actual room. 1 second. So you're supposed to be, yeah. Okay. Is Olajuwonlo here? Olajuwonlo Afolabi. Olajuwonlo Afolabi. If he isn't here, then we can just move on to the next speaker. Karatu Fatiu. Hello, Karatu Fatiu, are you here? Hello, Fatiu, can you hear us? I can see your name, but I'm not sure if you can hear us.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, perfect. So, I think you can present now.
Yeah, I sent my slide yesterday.
Yeah, I will help you share your slides.
Okay, thank you.
Just a moment. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So this
Yeah,
is
I can see it now.
okay. This is
Okay,
the correct
yeah.
slide, right?
Yeah, this is the correct one. Thank you. So I am Karatufati by name. So thank you to the organizing committee for this program. We are really grateful. So I'm presenting on agentic AI and societal adaptation. So please, the next slide, please. Yeah, the main title is Algorithmic Autonomy and Ethical Anchors, Evaluating Societal Adaptation to Agentic AI Through the Lens of Zarou's Core Age Principle. So in a nutshell, this topic wants to talk about how effective agentic AI can be in fulfilling human values in the society. So please, the next slide, please. Yeah, the reason why we have to look into this is because machines are now shifting from being ordinary tools to decision makers. So, and the society that we have now is increasingly delegating human responsibility to autonomous system. So we can see the example of this in our healthcare, finance, governance, security, and education. So the society is shifting from generative AI, which assists human, to agentic AI, which acts autonomously. So the fact that we are giving human responsibilities, human duties to autonomous machine, then we have to look at the fact that how can this autonomous machine replace human in this responsibility, how effective they can, and considering human values, because in our society we have human values, considering human values, how can this autonomous machine align with human values in carrying out all this responsibility given to them. So this is the bone of contention of this discussion. So the next please. Yeah, so this is going to take us to the risk of autonomous decision making, like autonomous machine. You know that we are giving human responsibility to autonomous machine. Definitely, we must be expecting some risk in giving that human responsibility to autonomous machine. Why do we have to be expecting this risk? Because there are some specific qualities in human for them to be able to perform this particular activity. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, human beings, please, I'm not done, please. Yeah, human beings, who are the primary subject of these activities. There are some qualities that they possess for them to be able to carry out these particular activities. But with delegating all this responsibility to autonomous machines, we have to look at the same qualities. Are these same qualities there present in these autonomous machines for them to assume the position, the responsibility, the duty of these human beings that are the primary subject of these activities? So we have to look at what could go wrong. As AI becomes more autonomous now, risks like this also grow, risks like bias and discrimination, risks like gold drift, like the output of the output that we get from the machine might not be the inputs that we put into the machine, the harmful optimization and loss of human oversight. So the core question now is that how do we maintain ethical control over systems that act independently? So how do we maintain this ethical control? Because ethical control must be maintained in our society, and this is part of what is being maintained when humans are the subject of these activities. Now that machines want to be the subject of these activities, how do we maintain this ethical control in our society? Now, please, the next one. So because of this question, this leads us to introducing Sheikh Ahmed Zarouk, one of the 15th century jurist, theologian, and a reformer. We are introducing him through his work, Qawaid Tasawwuf, the principles of Tasawwuf or Sufism, which contains some principles that try to balance the rigid external rules of Sharia, like the rigid human actions, the external actions together with the internal action. So we are using this sheikh because of the fact that it treats the balance between external action, which is the output, with the internal action, which is the input. Like the input, which is the internal action, must be balanced together with the external action. So we are using him as a case study because we believe that autonomous machine also, it's the input of autonomous machines is as a result of what is being imputed in it, or what it has been programmed for. So we are using this sheikh because of his long time repetition regarding this principle. Now, the next one, please. So why we are using this Sheikh for AI ethics? So Sheikh, this particular scholar looks into true ethical behavior. He maintained that true ethical behavior cannot be achieved just by forcing external restriction from outside. It requires correct internal intention. So while building AI agents, we have to know that there must be correct internal intention. Like we have to inbuild, we have to inculcate into these machines the correct internal intention, the systematic self-regulation. They should be able to self-regulate themselves when we have different cases, when we have different situations. They must not just act in accordance to what they have been programmed for alone, but when we have different situations, they must be able to systematically regulate themselves. And lastly, constant context aware evaluation. They should be able to evaluate different situations differently, not the same in the same way. So the connection to AI, the agentic AI, is because autonomous AI agents now act like decision makers rather than passive software tools. The real test is no longer what machine can do. We are not asking for what machine can do. We all know what machine can do, but the manner how they can do this particular action, that is what we are up to now, how they can act. So please, the next one, please. So because of this, we are profiling two principles from the principle of this scholar. The first one is the first ethical anchor that we are profiling here is value alignment. Value alignment. This is going to save agentic AI from literalism and blind execution. What do we mean by literalism? Literalism in the sense that sometimes we are going to give AI a directive, but the AI is not going to know the intent behind that directive. It's just going to act in accordance to the directive literally. For example, telling an autonomous car to drive someone to the airport as fast as possible. So the directive given to the AI car is what? To drive to the airport as fast as possible. It's going to process that order literally without considering the fact that under as fast as possible, you have to what? You have to maintain the safety of the person you are carrying. You have to what? Also, you have to observe the traffic rules. All these also are intention behind this particular directive, not that they just take the directive literally or with blind execution of the directive. They must know the what? They must know the intention behind this particular directive. So the problem is that AI may follow instruction literally without understanding ethical consequences. So we need to actually look when we are building our AI. The what's it called? The proposal is that when we are building our AI, we must program them in a way that there should be alignment to human values. This autonomous machine should align with human values when carrying out their order, not literally or with blind execution. Example of things that might happen when they carry out the directives literally or with blind execution is goal misalignment, blind execution, and unintended harm might happen because AI car that is moving fast as possible to get the person to the airport might actually cause the safety of the person and some other unintended harm. So the ethical anchor, which is ethical that we want to use here, is that there should be alignment between the intention behind that directive, the action of the AI, and the outcome is going to be what is going to be good. So that is the first ethical anchor that we are proposing. We are proposing value alignment. Value alignment is that this autonomous machine must align with human value. The second ethical anchor is mizan, which is balance. This balance is going to deal with the problem of rigidity and sensitivity. Rigidity is that AI system struggles with complex human context. They are just rigid. From our guest speakers, one of them talk about the fact that the generalization, like the fact that there's this particular AI that has been designed for a particular stuff or for a particular area that cannot be taken to another area because of the fact that it has been designed for a particular area. So if it is taken to another area, it will not be able to adapt to the change. So this rigidity is another problem for this AI that we need to actually to talk about. And the sensitivity, it has to be sensitive to human different cultures, human different environmental differences and all that. So the ethical anchor here is balance. It requires context awareness, like this AI that we are building in the future must be context awareness, like must be aware of the context, different contexts and different situations. Proportional judgment, this judgment must be proportional, and the sensitivity to human realities. We have some human realities that this thing is the reality. The realities of some people, of some culture, of some societies are different from the realities of some societies. So this AI must be sensitive to different realities in order to what? To balance the input with the output. Sorry, the next one, please. So the solution now is that building ethical. So our solution, what we are profiling our solution is that we need to build ethical agentic AI, not just technical agentic agentic AI that can work, that can do this and do that, but must do that ethically, because we cannot remove ethics from the society. So current solution include, so yeah, we want to admit the fact that we have the current solution. There are some solutions, the technical solution like safety controls and enforcement learning, and we have some legal solutions also, like the policies and regulation, the government policies, the regulation. But all these are not enough to keep it safe, because this agentic AI we are talking about, we actually want to delegate total autonomy to this autonomous machine. We want to delegate total autonomy to them. They can act even while we are asleep. Definitely, they must be built ethically. So the missing dimension here is the ethical intelligence. They have to be intelligent ethically. So we are proposing that we should integrate this Ahmad Zaruk ethical framework of truthfulness, which is value alignment. How this autonomous machine align with human values, and the other one, which is the word balance. How they balance, how they are being sensitive to different human realities. We want this to be what? To be integrated into AI governance. So now I want to move to like this forum as a live case study. Now, for example, now yes, even without using the example that I've actually brought up before.
Sorry to cut you off. Please, your time is up, so you can wrap up and conclude your presentation. Thank you.
Okay, so for example, now look at the time differences, like the time difference that we have. Like we have the time is that we're supposed to know we have actually used more than the time. Had this been we are using an autonomous machine, definitely some people will have been logged out. Even you telling me now that we have time, like the time is up now. If it is autonomous machine telling you this, is not going to inform you about the time. It's just going to shut you down. So this is going to prevent the spirit of inclusiveness that is in human, and also using some wordings that probably the autonomous machine do not understand some wordings, and using the wordings that this autonomous machine do not understand might actually be strange to him and not actually comprehend that these terms. So we need to build an autonomous machines that align with human values and that can be sensitive to human realities. In conclusion, the next one, please. So in conclusion, the main argument is that safe agentic AI requires more than technical intelligence. It requires ethical intelligence. And the two essential principles that we are actually profiling is what? The shift, which is the value alignment, how this autonomous machine align with human values, and the contextual balance, which is Mizan. So the final thought is that this classical ethical tradition, this work provides valuable tools for governing modern AI. So with this, we can know that we are not only users of this AI autonomous machine, but we can be the authors of its standard, how the standard works. So thank you for listening.
Thank you, Fatih Okaratu, for your presentation. So our initial plan was we take all the presentations and then we have a Q&A section at the end. But does anyone have any question for Fatih? If not, we can move on to the next presenter. Okay.
Hello,
so
I have a very short question.
Sure, Prof.
Yeah, thank you very much for that insightful presentation. I have listened to this previously before, and that was when AI, and all this were not basically available. So this is Mizan is well documented in environmental education, Islam and environment, and all that. Now, how do you, from your perspective with AI, I don't know anything about this, but just a very quick response. Maybe later we can talk more. There is environmental equilibrium that we basically talk about when we look at environmental studies. And then these days you have sustainability, and so on. So how do you think this will work in ethics when we look at our own environment and we think of economic development, because economic development eats into environmental perspective. Do you have anything to say about this using your AI agentic system?
Yes, sir. So what I meant by this, Mizan, is that as we have different situations, like we have different communities with different characteristics. So we want this machine. We want a machine. We want autonomous machine that can be used that can recognize different situations, that can adjust to different situations. Like for example, now let me use a restaurant for an example. Probably there is a security AI agent that is in charge of security of a restaurant, for example. So it has been programmed that it should not unauthorized person should not gain access to the restaurant, for example. So with this, and there is a
I think don't take too much time in my response. I understand you guys are running out of time, so just give me one sentence and I will be fine. I can follow up.
Yeah, so what I mean is that this autonomous machine can we want sensitivity. Yes, we want them to build sensitivity into this autonomous machine, so that it's going to comprehend different situations and going to act differently to different situations, not the same way to different situations.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your answer and thank you for your presentation. Okay, I think we have Linus back. Hi, Linus, can you hear us? Hello, Linus, you're currently muted. Can you unmute and speak into the mic? Hello?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Great.
Hello.
Yeah. So you have about
Can
10
you hear
minutes.
me?
We can hear you.
hear
Can
me?
you hear? We can hear you.
Okay.
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 You have about 10
The
minutes.
title of my
and you can
presentation
start
is
now.
Aristotle Golden Mean, and don't worry. Hope you can hear me. So the title of my presentation, Artificial Intelligence. This research investigates the ethical dimensions of artificial intelligence, AI, through the philosophical lens of Aristotle's doctrine of golden mean. You know, Aristotle's doctrine of golden mean talks about balance, avoiding in what we are doing, as well as numerical method. We apply Aristotle golden mean to issue of artificial intelligence. And our finding is that in whatever, there must be a kind of balance. Artificial intelligence, we know, holds great promise. It can solve complex problems, improve healthcare, drive efficiency, transform industries. However, without ethical guidance, AI may lead to serious harm, ranging from job loss, bias, privacy invasion, to the weakening of human autonomy. So the doctrine of golden mean becomes relevant here, as it provides framework for maintaining balance between efficiency and fairness, innovation and safety, autonomy and control, surveillance and privacy. For instance, the study has shown how a balanced approach, neither over-reliance on AI nor complete rejection, is ethically preferable. If AI can be used, we have to balance it well. If they are too restricted, their usefulness may be diminished. Likewise, if there is too much reliance on AI, it can threaten human liberty, while no surveillance at all may endanger public safety, as the previous presenter just said. Aristotle golden mean directs us towards finding that balance virtuous and middle path. Additionally, Aristotle's emphasis on practical wisdom, phronesis, was shown to be critical in AI regulation in complex way, and rigid rules may not be sufficient. Practical wisdom enables policymakers, developers, and the users to apply AI well. Furthermore, the research underscored the role of virtue in shaping a just technical future. Justice, temperance, courage, wisdom are essential features for those who design, regulate, and use AI. When AI is developed by people of good character and guided by ethical habits, its use becomes more aligned with human values and societal well-being. Finally, the study evaluates Aristotle's ethics in light of various criticisms, while some scholars argue that golden mean lacks specific rule for action. Others, like Zoe, defend its philosophical strength when grounded in Aristotle's metaphysical framework of form and matter. In contemporary application, improves not only relevant but necessary, offering moral clarity in an age of rigid digital age. In conclusion, Aristotle, Doctor of Golden Mean, provides a profound moral compass for the age of artificial intelligence by emphasizing moderation, rational judgment, and phronesis. It offers a framework to navigate ethical tensions between autonomy and oversight, transparency and complexity, efficiency and fairness, and innovation and responsibility. When guided by virtue ethics, AI development can promote not only technological progress, but also human flourishing, ensuring that they remain anchored in moral wisdom and social good. Thank you. I'm through.
Thank you, Linus, for your presentation, and thank you for sharing about Aristotle's golden mean and ethics of artificial intelligence. So, does anyone have any question for Linus? Before we move on to the next speaker. Okay, just a kind reminder that we've been sending out the feedback forms for each of the presenters so far. So you can just help us complete the feedback, and yeah, we use that to also gain your insights. So thank you, Linus. And I would like to invite the next speaker. Is Oluwajuwonlo Afolabi. Are you ready to present now? Or is
Yes, I'm ready.
okay.
But I've shared my slides with you. Can you help me
You mean you sent it to
with
the
the slides?
email?
Yes, to the email.
Okay. Let me check. Okay, thank you. I will help you share your screen. Just a moment. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen. Thank you. Can I go ahead?
Just a second.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have around 10 minutes and you can start now.
All right, thank you. So my name is Oluwajuwonlo Afolabi, and I am presenting on agentic misinformation, the influence of autonomous AI on the epistemic agency of local media authorities in Nigeria. So the background of the study is about that we are moving from generative AI to agentic AI. And in generative AI, what we have is to like generate content, whether information, writing. But in agentic AI, AI now is able to generate information on its own to be able to, of course, to select what is actually reported as news, to curate it, how it's ranked, and even how it's amplified across different that AI is able to, of course, work on its own to select information that is actually justifiable as now, okay, this is valuable to be reported, and this is actually worthy for the audience to be reported. And in this sense, we have that journalists, editors are actually being relegated to the background in this sense. And so also, now AI is capable of actually saying that, okay, what should the audience know? What is of should be of priority to the audience, and also what is actually said to be credible, so that people can actually know that this is credible. And this is going to create a situation whereby what is actually known as credibility is now determined by the algorithm and not exactly by human journalists that we used to have or human editors that we used to have. And the gap in this research mostly lies on the fact that most studies on AI and misinformation focus on Western societies. However, we have fragile information ecosystem in the global south. Yeah, for example, like in Nigeria, where this actually situation is underexplored. And so the question to be answered in this research is, how does agentic AI redistribute epistemic agency away from local media authorities in Nigeria? So to answer this question, I'm breaking it down into sub-questions, which is to look into how do audiences perceive news credibility when AI agents, not non-journalists, curate information? And also, does AI-driven information curation erode or reconfigure social identity? When all of these things are happening, how do grassroots responses emerge as communities negotiate changing information environment? So the conceptual argument in this study is that in the past, before the emergence of AI and agentic AI, we used to have it that when news is to be reported or information, so journalists will of course select and curate news, and then when they have written the news stories, they will pass it on to their editors, who are going to check, to fact check and correct before this information is released to the public. However, this ecosystem is changing, and so instead of this traditional method of passing information, we now have journalists now are having just selecting information and passing it on to AI agents. And even in some cases, we have journalists even giving all their responsibilities to AI agents, for these AI agents to look at what is trending, for instance, and from what is trending to select news stories from what is trending, to craft the news stories, and then report the news stories autonomously directly to the public. So this simply means that journalists and editors are actually being taken away from the center stage of media reporting, and we have algorithms, which is AI agents, being able to, of course, select information and report directly to the public. And so the concern here is that when this is happening, so editorial judgment is now moving away from humans to autonomous systems. So it simply means that the public, instead of interacting with journalists, with editors, with news reporters, they are now going to be interacting with autonomous AI systems. And even in some cases, the public may actually not know particularly that they are interacting with autonomous AI systems. So they believe that whatever they are consuming, reading, is from journalists and from editors. And these things are being fact-checked. But this is actually changing. So you now have a situation whereby credibility is changing, visibility is changing, and voices of those who are actually amplified or marginalized is also changing. And so we have that this autonomous AI is actually designed in Western society, global South here. So in that case, what is actually defined as truth, as credible, as visible, is now actually being directed by these autonomous systems, which simply means that people from the global South, actually their truth, their credibility may actually be hampered. And also, this research design is going to focus, of course, on discourse analysis of people on like Twitter, select WhatsApp communities, and also there's going to be semi-structured interviews with participants from select media houses in Nigeria, like the Premium Times, the Cable, Channels TV, TVC News, and Dubawa. And the focus of analysis is, of course, to identify what is changing, and that is how is trust changing with this phenomenon, how is identity changing, how is information authority changing, and how will the society adapt with this new emergence. So why Nigeria? Nigeria is very, very important to this study because there is rapid utilization in Nigeria, and also there is expanding use of AI journalistic tools. And because as this autonomous AI actually being adopted by media houses and media platforms, there is what or to what extent should journalists, editors, or media houses use autonomous AI system? There are actually no particular design framework for this as of now. And also, this simply means that there is going to be, of course, higher level of exposure to misinformation, because if autonomous AI systems actually make mistake, who is going to fact check this autonomous AI system? Before, we have editors fact checking journalists. But if autonomous AI system select the news, edit the news, and even publish the news, then who is going to fact check autonomous AI system? So this is going to be an issue with the spread of misinformation going forward. And also because Nigeria actually relies a lot on local trust network. So when we take the humans away from the media reporting ecosystem and we have autonomous AI society when humans are no longer in the scene. So this is a question that this study intends to, of course, answer. And the contribution from this research is that it's going to that, of course, it's going to contribute to the debate on epistemic agency and misinformation in the global south. And also it's going to provide empirical foundation for ethical AI governance in Nigeria. And it will also help the society to start, of course, thinking of how they're going to adapt to these new changes, because the way things were done in the past will no longer be, of course, the way things are done in this new era. And so this research is going to, of course, in media regulation and the responsible use of autonomous AI system. Finally, so when the question is no longer about whether AI can write news or AI can generate news, autonomous AI system select news, report news, and publish news. Who is going to exercise authority over information? And what will the public know as the truth, as credible and believable, when autonomous AI systems take charge of what humans, like journalists, like reporters, and like editors used to do in the past? This is a question that this study intends to answer. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Afolabi, for this wonderful presentation. Does anyone have any question for him? Okay. Once again, we appreciate you for that wonderful presentation. We are going to the next presenter.
Yeah.
So the next presenter is okay. Samuel, is Anthony here?
I see Ismail is back. So
Ismail, okay.
Ismail, are you here now? Can you give your presentation?
Yes, I can give.
Okay. Can you share your screen, or do you need us to
Hello, good
help you?
morning. Okay, let me share.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Is it showing? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ismail, that is Idu. I am a school counselor and a master's in guidance and counseling researcher from Northwest University, Kano. Today, I want to take you on a journey from chatbot to coach. I will examine the opportunities and ethical tension of agentic AI for career counseling in sub-Saharan Africa for propose a cultural responsive governance framework. First, let me start with the problem. In Nigerian public secondary schools, we have a severe counseling crisis. The ratio of student to counselors exceeds the recommended standard by the American School Counseling Association. Uh, the the career guidance is practically absent during SS1 to SS3. The critical decision, that is the critical decision window. This lead to career indecision, mismatches of choice, and wasted potential. But here is a cultural dimension in Hausa, northern Nigeria. Career choices are purely individual, are not career choices are purely individual. They are shaped. They are not purely individual. Sorry, they are shaped by family consensus. That is the shura, and religious values like tawakkul, trust. That is trust in God. Students do not decide alone. Yet, all existing career guidance tools are designed for Western individualistic settings. They assume an autonomous teenager making independent decisions. That does not fit our context. Uh, when we look at uh, the existing chatbots that we have, the WooBot, the most studied CBT chatbot. It was tested on a sample that was 79% Caucasian. Its exercise assume individual decision making. Then we have the WISA chatbot, which uses the natural language processing, but operates within a fixed decision tree framework with no logic for communal family involvement. We have the UPA, which uses generative AI, but is adult focused with Western assumptions about autonomy. These common gaps are serious. They are culturally blinded, scripted responses that cannot adapt. No career specific framework like social cognitive career theory, and no counselor's oversight. In under-regulated environments like Nigeria, an unsupervised AI chatbot is risky, especially for emotional and vulnerable adolescents. Um, then, so what changes when we move from generative to agentic AI? Generative AI is reactive. It responds to your prompt and stop, while agentic AI is proactive. It sets its own sub goals. Remember, past interaction, plans across multiple steps, and adapts over time. For career guidance, this is transformative. A student say, I want to study engineering, but I am not smart enough. Agentic AI does not just reply, it tracks that belief, returns to its future sessions, recommend preparatory exercise, and monitor progress over weeks. It becomes a coach, not just a chatbot. But with this power comes new ethical risks, and those risks are amplified in low resource, culturally distinct settings. Uh, Let me walk through the ethical tension that agentic AI introduces. First, personalization is a strength, but autonomous decision making in emotional sensitive context is risk. Second, 24/7 availability is great, but it can lead to overdependence and erosion of the therapeutic alliance. That is the trust between a counselor and a client. Third, the data-driven tailoring helps, but raises data sovereignty question. Where does student data lives? Who controls it? Fourth, scalable cultural adaptation is the promise, but if the AI is trained on Western data, it will misalign with our local values. These tensions are not hypothetical, they are amplified in under-regulated environment like Nigeria, where we have weak data protection law and no specific rule for agentic AI in schools. Uh, while culture matters for agentic AI, in Hausa, let's take for example, in Hausa Islamic Northern Nigeria, a 16-year-old girl considering a career in nursing will first discuss it with her parents, then perhaps her extended family. And she will seek guidance through istikara, that is prayer for decision making. That's the nature. And an AI that tells her you should follow your own passion without acknowledging family or faith is not just unhelpful, it could cause family conflict or make her abandon the tool entirely. This is why cultural adaptation is not optional. It is the core governance requirement. It is the core governance requirement. We cannot simply translate Western tools into Hausa. We must imagine the reasoning logic itself to align with communal decision making, religious value, local norms. Okay. Culturally, how do we respond? How do we respond to these challenges? I propose a culturally responsive framework guided by three principles. First, contextual adaptability. This means embedding indigenous belief system into the AI reasoning layer, not as an afterthought, but as a foundational logic. Tawakkul, that is tawakkul, family council, and communal decision making must be coded into the system. Second, the supervised autonomy. The AI proposed, but a human counselor approves or redirects. No autonomous action happens in emotional sensitive contexts without a human checkpoint. Third, equity-centered governance. We must ensure AI deployed does not deepen existing disparity. Data must be stored locally. And we must keep human counselor central. AI augments them. AI is not replacing human counselor, but augmenting. Then governance implication. What does this mean for different stakeholders? For counselors, we need AI literacy and oversight skills. For schools, we need governance charters and escalation protocols. For ministry, we need regulatory framework for agentic AI in education. For researchers, we need African-centered studies on AI ethics and cultural adaptation. My call to action is simple. Do not wait for high-income countries to write rules for us. Build a local, culturally grounded governance now. The question is whether we will shape the technology or be shaped by it. Let me conclude with 4 key takeaways. One, existing CBT chatbots. When I say CBT, that is a cognitive behavioral therapy. Chatbots are culturally blind, scripted, and unsafe for adolescent career guidance in our context. 2, agentic AI offers transformative potential but introduces qualitative new ethical risks. 3, cultural responsive integration requires 3 non-negotiable principles: context context adaptability. I'm almost through, please. Sorry. Supervised autonomy and equity-centered governance. 4, this framework is one of the first governance model for agentic AI in school counseling tailored to the global south. AI must serve the student's context, not the other way around. Thank you. I'm happy to take your questions, sir.
Thank you, Ismail, for your presentation. And just another reminder, we've been sending out the feedback form, so kindly help to complete it for each of the
All right.
presenters. So moving on, Anthony, are you ready to present now? So we'll have a Q&A session at the end in case you have any further questions for any of the speakers. So we'll finish all the presentations first. Is Anthony ready to present now? You can unmute yourself.
All right.
Right. Okay. So you sent us your slide previously, and I can share my screen to help you. Can you see my screen?
Yes. All right.
Okay.
The title of my paper is Ethical Considerations on the Development and Use of Artificial Intelligence. Honestly, I'm very pleased to be part of this forum. It is a very great privilege, so I'm appreciative. This is my first time, and I am grateful. So my name is Dr. Anthony Chijoke. Now, the question behind the code: moral philosophy permits all aspects of human life, including how we build and deploy artificial intelligence. Today's AI is now bifurcated into the generative and agentic AI systems that act with little or no human oversight or intervention. Much of the existing research celebrates capability and relevance, but here we are called to focus to look into other areas, to look into all of them, including ethical governance. So ethics, just like I said, ethics permits all aspects of the society. So we are, first of all, I'm going to start with what is AI in general, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a system or computer that have been designed with data and information that have been imputed with information, algorithms, and other electronic items to behave like, to run things, process data, and run things the way human beings do. Just like they have their own, some level of intelligence imputed into them. So the next one is generative AI. It is divided into generative AI, and this is not my slide though. Sorry. Hello?
Hello?
This is not my slide.
This
The one here. Okay, let
is
me.
your
This is
slide. This is your
Anthony Wimbo.
name, right?
Anthony Wibo. Let me.
Yeah.
Come on.
Did you edit your slides afterwards? After you sent it to us?
Yes, let me bring it. Yes, let me bring my own. Let me screen it.
Okay.
Come on,
Okay.
help me. Let me show. Come on, help me. So just click cancel. So come to the video. I'm gonna let you back. I'm gonna let you back. No, go. A video. Okay, to there.
We can't see your screen.
Can you see it now?
No, we can't.
Let me.
Maybe he will begin to represent. Let's listen.
I sent the PowerPoint. I sent the PowerPoint. Okay, go to the email. You will see the new one I sent now, just now.
Let him do the presentation.
Yeah, you can go ahead with your presentation. We will
Okay.
hear you and then make our evaluation from what you present.
Okay. But it's there in your email anyway. I just sent it just 5 minutes ago. Ethical consideration on the development and use of artificial intelligence. Now, the question behind the ethical code, moral philosophy permits every aspect of human life, including how we develop and use artificial intelligence. Today's AI now is now bifurcates into generative and generative and agentic systems that act with little or no oversight. That is, they are autonomous. They have a high level of autonomous. They are different from the traditional systems. Okay, so why ethics belongs in the conversation? Because human beings as social beings and intelligent beings are rational. Aristotle said that human beings are we as rational beings. As rational beings, we have reason as our moral, as our compass that also form our moral system based on human experience and traditions. Now, ethics permit all aspects of life, including technology. It permits technology, including artificial intelligence, the development and use of artificial intelligence. The scope of this paper, we examine the ethical consideration that ought to shape the development, use, and societal adaptation of AI. Okay. What is, as I said, what is artificial intelligence? Computer technology. This is computer technology designed to think, learn, and do things that normally require human intelligence, recognizing patterns, solving problems, making decisions, and understanding language. Generative versus agentic. Generative AI creates ideas, a type of AI that generates image, text, videos, and other media in response to user prompts. Instead of merely analyzing or categorizing existing information, it emulates human creativity, producing brand new materials based on patterns it learned from training. While those agentic one, intelligent systems that do not just wait for human commands, they take initiative, they are more autonomous, they're highly autonomous. Okay, so let's look at the issues. Nowadays, the world is so developed. We are in the 21st century and we are moving forwards. There is development. How do we control technology? How do we control technology? How do we use design technology? How we design them and use them, develop them, use them, is governed by ethics, because ethics is important. That sets us apart from other animals or other beings. So both the institution, in the family, in the institution, in school, in the public sector, in the private sector, we need responsible AI that is that is expected to follow some principles, which I call the 7 pillars of ethical AI. One, responsibility. AI are expected to be responsible. The designers and deployers answer for outcome, whether they are blameworthy, they are culpable, and also they receive the praise. If there are some complaint to it, goes to the producers, and also in situation where the problem comes from the users, they are also answerable. And also, we know the limit that even the AI itself, though they're autonomous, the social agentic AI, they're autonomous, but it is the onus is left for us to also know when to step in. Accountability. Since we are responsible, we are both. There are some issues that comes from the designers or the developers. Such issues, we look at such issues where the problem comes from. Sometimes it is difficult to hold the user or the developers or the deployers. Those who are using, they have to draw the line between who should be accountable. But a critical analysis of the issue can reveal where the problem comes from and what the solutions to the problems will be reviewed. But in any case, the government of the day too have a good role to play, the policymakers, in terms of accountability, to show that responsible and the users, the makers and the users also follow rules. Both apart from training, the policies about the AI we allow to import, or the ones that are designed to accept some of our values too. So though we are talking about universal values, there are some relative values. Like in Nigeria, we have Christians, we have Muslims, we have traditional, and we are traditional religious people. Also, there are some cultural differences. So we have to know how to adjust these things, make societal adjustment that these problems create, so that they both the deployers and the users know what to do. Especially the policymakers too have some role to play. We look at transparency, the information that are being imputed and the data that are being imputed. Are there some of the information that are being let's say in the area of academics and education, are the information correct? Once some informations are being imputed in a system, the artificial intelligence, are those information honest, and are there something that could be made public clearly, and to be honest, are they what you will say that you can publish openly and they will stand the test of time and be transparent, so that people will see through them and there will be no fault? Then another
Okay.
one, honesty. Honesty
Hello.
and sincerity.
Dr. Anthony, sorry to cut you off. Your time is up, so kindly wrap up. Thank you.
Okay, honesty. So the information is expected to be honest. Fairness, are they inclusive? Do they consider other people, the people in the society and the other parts of the world? Not maleficent. While you use the AI, we make effort to avoid creating more harm than good. We try to avoidable harms that are avoidable should be avoided. The harms that are avoidable we should take care to avoid causing harm when we are trying to solve problems with the AI. Privacy, privacy of individuals, especially even in the country. Some people, are they those AI that have been sent in the country, are they working in a national interest? Even individuals, even in health areas, are the private information being kept well? Are being kept confidential? So some of these things are the issues. Then a balanced relationship between human and AI. For policymakers, they should govern wisely and be more educated on the AI. And also, the leaders should make some policy framework that will accommodate our differences, even social adaptation. so that it will tally with our culture and some relative part of our ethical system. And lastly, let all the technologies and users be constrained by moral principle in the interest of humanity. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anthony. Thank you for your presentation. And yeah, we have one last speaker for this session, and is Justina. Are you here? Hello?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. So it's your turn to present now, and I'll help
Hello.
you share the screen. Just a moment. We can hear you.
All right, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead, please.
Yes, we can hear you, and you have 10 minutes. You can start your presentation. Hello? Think she might be having some network.
So sorry, I can't show my video because I'm currently not using my PC.
Okay, no problem. You can just
Thank
present,
you.
it's fine.
So I'm so excited to be here to present our research on how we can intentionally prepare Nigerian adults for the transition from generative AI to agentic AI, focusing on digital literacy, institutional readiness, and policy. So checking my slide 2. So to understand our paper, we must look at the shifts happening right now. So we know that we are moving away from generative AI, where, for example, it will just write an email for
Hello, Abiodun, can you hear us? Hello? I think we lost her. If you can hear us, please continue.
Hello, can you hear us?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes,
That
we
was
can.
me. I'm sorry. Okay, so to continue from my slide 2, I said that to understand my paper, we need to understand the shift from generative AI to agentic AI, and that's what my paper deploys. So this shift demands a new blueprint, or let's call it a new playbook for adult learning and policy. So let's think about how ChatGPT changed our lives in the past few years. Agentic AI is going to move even faster. So, and from my slide 3 here, our paper looks at 2 specific areas where ethics, policy, and social science meet. So first, if we deploy biased algorithms in Nigeria workplaces, how does that affect adult education and career transitions? And second, if public sector AI systems lack transparency, then we are at the risk of completely losing citizens' trust. So what ethics, policy, and social sciences play here are different. So ethics are like, although they work collaboratively when agentic AI is being deployed in our public sector and adult learning center. But what ethics does is that it suggests what we do with the agentic AI. It recommends what we do. Why policy tells us about it employs guidelines principles to follow with the deployment of the agentic AI so that there won't be algorithm bias or this will be taken out. Then the social science, what it suggests is that it asks the question, how does agentic AI affect the people? How does its use and how does what it recommends and the principles employed, so how does it affect the citizens? How does it affect adults in the society? So that is what slide 3 talks about majorly. And then from my slide 4 here, we don't just point out problems, we offer solutions. So we provide a practical framework to audit bias in our current systems, to outline specific curricular changes for adult learners, and give a clear guideline to ensure innovation always serves the public good. So we intentionally check these systems to ensure they don't discriminate. People need to know how an AI reached a decision, and tools are useless without people, which is why capacity building for educators and leaders is non-negotiable. It is very vital. So moving to slide 5, everything we do must be anchored by core ethical and policy principles. So on the ethics side, as you can see here, so it comes down to 3 things. And the question is it fair? Who is held accountable when things go wrong? And can we see through the system? And on the policy side, we are calling for robust regulatory frameworks, and we can't rely on foreign laws. Nigeria needs its own governance structures to ensure that as these autonomous tools roll out, they always serve the public interest and they respect human dignity. And from my slide 6 here, as you can see, so slide 6, please. Thank you. So we offer 3 major contributions. First, we built a practical framework that organizations and government sectors can use to audit themselves for bias and transparency gaps. And then second, we provide a concrete curricular blueprint, like I mentioned earlier, or a roadmap designed for adult learners and the administrators guiding them, the administrators. And then third, we establish clear guidelines or principles for responsible innovation. So giving stakeholders a step-by-step roadmap to adopt AI safely without losing the human element. So to wrap things up in slide 7, our core message is entirely people-centered. So preparing Nigerian adults for agentic AI isn't a technical problem. So it is a societal one. It requires a unified effort where people and agents can collaboratively come together. That's educators, policymakers, social institutions, where they can all work hand in hand, like collaboratively. And if we implement these strategies, we won't just be reacting to technology, so it will ensure that Nigerian adults are fully prepared to participate, benefit, and truly thrive in an AI-driven future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Justina, for your presentation. That was a quick one. So this is the end of all the presentations for this section, but would now like to invite questions. So you can you're welcome to ask questions to the other presenters if you have any questions regarding their research or anything they've spoken about, you're welcome to ask. So does anyone have any question?
Oh, sorry, I thought a link would be sent regarding this presentation.
Sorry, what do you mean, a link? You mean a feedback form?
Like a form
Yeah,
to complete.
Yes, we've been sending that
Yes.
in the group chat, in the chat. Please check. We've sent for all the presenters so far. So if you haven't been able to do that, please take this time to also complete the Google form. We welcome your feedback for each of the presenters. Okay, we give you a few more minutes to complete the Google Forms. And in the meantime, if anyone has any question for any of the speakers, you're welcome to ask.
I didn't see, hello, I have a question now. I
Sure,
didn't
sure,
see
sure.
the link. I didn't see the link.
With the link for everybody?
Yes, I didn't see my own. Other
Okay.
each of the names, there is a
Okay.
link with number.
This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to send for each of the presenters, starting from the first person. I'm going to resend and see if you can access it. So I just sent for Uchenna. Can you see that? Can you see the new message I just sent? And I sent for Fatio as well. And for Linus, please can you see the link I'm sending?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I couldn't see my own.
Yeah, please wait a minute.
Let me check. Still waiting for my own.
Okay, I sent all the links for all the presenters for this session. We have 7 in total. Can you see the links?
Yes. Button.
Okay, we can spend the next 2 minutes. The next 2 minutes, how to say, completing the forms, and after that, we can all move back to the main room. And because for this event, for this forum, we have a lot of you guys, and we truly appreciate you for sharing your insights and presenting at the forum. And we also have awards at the same time. So for everyone who presented, there will be a certificate of participation. And for those who are outstanding, then there'll be a award for best presenter. So the feedback form are really important. They'll also help us decide better based on your feedback. Okay, so since we have no questions and no further discussions, once again, thank you all for your wonderful presentations. And you may all now move back to the main room. So you will still be able to see the feedback form links, but you can now move back to the main room. I can move you one by one if you're not sure how to do that.